Hello, Etherium Sky. I am done with our 4 productions in the last 3 weeks. It's been an intense time. I just got back to Anchorage last night. I had the first night in 3 weeks in a real bed, the first proper hot shower, and I didn't sleep at all. It's too comfortable to actually feel comfortable after several weeks of campgrounds, river showers, climbing mountains, eating camp food and all that other fun stuff. But I think I'll recover. So I'm out here taking a little bike ride through the city, which is crazy deserted. I'm only guessing that it's because of Corona. Downtown Anchorage is it's not a very big downtown anyways, so even when I was here a few years ago, it wasn't exactly bursting with life, but right now it's really deserted. So yeah, I took a bicycle out here for a little ride through the city to keep this streak of burning off all the Corona fat that I accumulated over the last 6 months. I think I've done well though over the last few weeks, climbing those mountains, carrying all the gear, not eating properly. I think I burnt off some of that fat, so that's not too bad. And yeah, the projects went really well. Some really big surprises. Kennecott was an incredibly big surprise. Man, it's surprisingly noisy in this city for such a dead town center. I think there's low-flying planes overhead still. But Kennecott was an incredibly big surprise. I had no idea just quite how rich the history of that region was. There are so many layers to that story. There's so much depth, and the local people, I've been told that they weren't interested in speaking to outsiders, that they come there to a remote place to be alone and to be left alone. They don't want to deal with cameras, but everybody's been incredibly kind to me in these last few weeks, and these are different people. These are people from different walks of life than my own. These are people who are very passionate about the political situation in the U.S., about their community, about the state of their state, who are very passionate about how they live their lives, about their culture, about their traditions, about the way of life, which is so often so closely connected to the land for centuries out here in Alaska, in fact, which is unique compared to the rest of the U.S. And there are many things that I personally disagree with so many people on, but everybody's been so incredibly kind, and even if I disagree, I absolutely respect, and I've gotten to understand and to learn so much from these people who come from a very different place in life than I did, and I couldn't be more grateful. My work has many challenges. It's not easy. There's very little money, but I guess that this is why I take these projects on, because I get to feel something. It's not a desensitized life where you just go and pass your days in comfort, repeating a task that you're familiar with people who think like you, act like you, live a very similar life to your life, who have similar interests, similar topics. It doesn't mean that I'm always happy. It doesn't mean that I'm always in agreement. There's many times that are lonely and frustrating, and there's many times I'm angry, but for each of those times there's also an opposite when I just feel, simple as that, whatever you're feeling, you're always feeling something, and it's never a middle level. It's always an extreme high, extreme low, but it's always strong feelings. I think there's a train passing by. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this for a second and show you this awesome view. Out there you can see some pretty cool mountains. This won't show on a phone camera very well, but they're pretty cool, and I always appreciated that about Anchorage. So I have another 2 days, essentially the weekend out here in Anchorage, mainly just to relax. Maybe I'll do a little hike, but I think I've had enough excitement for over the last few weeks. And then from next week on, post-production starts. So actually just this morning I got a notice from the Business Insider producers out in New York that they received all the footage. The hard drive was supposed to get there overnight, but from these remote communities in Aniak, it apparently took significantly longer. But yeah, they're starting their post-production. This project is getting cut by editors out in New York, not myself, so my work is done. Then the Kennecott project, I'm gonna be cutting myself, and the way it seems, I came here to shoot just a small 5-minute mini doc for the BBC, but this project has grown exponentially since I first arrived there. So what's likely going to happen is I will edit this 5-minute mini doc as agreed, and you guys will see that sometime probably by early October. But then I have a real strong feeling that this is going to grow into a larger project that might take, I don't know, several weeks, several months, because I really have a lot of great content, and that story is just absolutely fascinating. There's so many layers to it. There's so much depth. And it's just such a fascinating, picturesque, visual, unique, unknown, hidden, mysterious place. So as is right now, it seems like I will cut together probably roughly a half hour documentary of sorts from it. We'll see how that goes. It might also grow into a feature, but I need to look through the footage and decide. And then the Muskoxen project will probably be ready sometime in October. Well, likely later in November, actually. I do not know who that is going to right now. I don't know which media company it's going to be, or whether it's going to be our own Etherium Sky in-house production. But nonetheless, it will be a cool little feel-good story about some really cool animals and really cool people who give them a refreshingly nice, comfortable home. And finally, the story of Mike Hall. Well, that project actually didn't progress quite as far as I hoped in this last week. So we shot some really stunning shots with Mike in some really stunning locations. We did a nice interview with Mike, which is quite complete, although didn't quite go in depth as much as I hoped. This is something that I'm leaving for later on, once we actually reach his cabin, once this Corona madness hopefully passes, possibly in the spring. And yeah, for now, probably what's going to happen is I will cut together some kind of a short trailer, or maybe a first couple scenes, just enough to have a little teaser to start applying for grants, and to try to obtain some funding and support for that production, which I expected, and which I've been assured now after a few weeks in Alaska will be much more challenging than just a single guy with a camera type project. The weather in Alaska is challenging. Access to a lot of those places that we want to reach with this project is really challenging. there are many things that simply cannot be planned, cannot be predicted, and this all has to be taken into consideration. So this is a project that will certainly be a longer-term commitment, longer-term production, and hopefully will get completed step by step over the next 2 years, perhaps, or so. But I'm happy to say that that we've taken a solid first step with Mike. The footage looks really great, especially the material that we shot out there in the tundra yesterday. I just copied the data this morning, and it looks really, really awesome. And that's about it for this month of Alaskan adventures. Please be sure to subscribe on Facebook, Etherium Sky Films and Media. We have these 4 upcoming projects in the next weeks, and we have a lot more planned for the coming months. And also be sure to check out ethereumsky.com for the work that we have out. Artist Police is viewable on Amazon. We're still moving ahead with a bigger live show, and thanks for tuning in. Take care.